back to the Accommodation Show. I am super pumped to bring Ken Patel in to the show this week. We'll be talking about his new startup, his new business called EV Hotels, EV Human. He'll be telling us all about it. He is a veteran of the hotel industry. He's been in it for a long, long time. I'm going to let you introduce yourself, Ken.
Yeah, too long. I feel like I'm grandfathered in. um, yeah, so hello everyone. My name's Ken Patel. I'm the founder CEO of EV Hotel Group here in the United States. We're based out of Atlanta, Georgia. I've been in the industry now. This is my 25th year. I started when I was 16. I pursued that career back when I was a junior in high school due to the fact there were a lot of things going on, financial things with my parents. They didn't have money, and I was helping them pay for rent my junior and senior year of my high school. And from there on, obviously, I went to a prestigious school in Dubai to pursue my MBA in hospitality, and then just came back and started in New York City at a Times Square property. Just as to everything I see in hospitality, and that's why I've done what I've done. But my career is long standing in hospitality with 25 years to see. We've had a lot of growth. There's been a lot of growth. Everybody can probably see a hotel on every corner now these days. And they can probably see every single brand on every single corner. You can see it where you can actually book a hotel room now. So, and there's a magnitude of things that are happening in the industry that's taking us to certain levels that we're at right now.
Beauty. So, I think that it would be really nice to the audience to sort of know this story. And what we might do is just quickly explain where you are at the end, very briefly, and then go back kind of to some of those building blocks all the way through. So where are we at right now, and what are you up to right now, Ken?
So currently we're with EV Hotel Group, and we're with the project of EV Human. EV Human is the industry's first all-in-one software solution that has basically all the technology that the hotel utilizes currently, whether it's going to be new technology and it's going to be current technology that actually is going to be phased into an AI implementation, where we're introducing in phase one. So there's 4 phases. The first phase is a guest facing technology. That's going to include a complete check-in model that the guest does not even have to be at the hotels 24 hours prior. Digitalized reg card, digitalized scan your ID, scan your credit card, get AI questions that's more data driven for the hotel, a social media platform with chatbots, an autonomous tipster that's digital wallet. So no more leaving tips for any of the employees or handing them off to them. It's basically you're going to be able to deliver it through the digital wallet system, a complete survey system where every guest now will be able to get a survey instead of the broken medallion system that we have. And then the direct communication between the guests and employees. So now the guests will know who the laundry attendant is. They will know who the front desk agent is, the chief engineer. So when we're eliminating, we're not eliminating the front desk, but we're eliminating the front desk as the captain of the ship. So the guest doesn't have to call the front desk to tell them the toilet's broken anymore. They can contact the chief engineer directly. Obviously, there's an escalation. There's also an autonomous service recovery. That's basically when the guest does have an issue. And, it's a 3-minute rule that we implemented that they will get a resolution. That's through a digitalized gift card, whether it's through a sundry shop or F&B. So that process itself comes from the Amazon model. What Amazon currently has a model of, where when you have an issue, they offer you a $5 courtesy credit. So we went a step further and do it a lot more than $5. But we saw a benefit in that. We want guest satisfaction. So that's kind of where we are with the phase one. And then, there's other phases where the phase two focuses on back office operations and onwards.
Right. Okay. Cool. So, technology, a platform that's going to just make, I guess, revolutionize the industry because it's going to be built from the ground up. Rather than
It
sort of
will.
leveraging on old systems that have been around for a long time and the old way of doing things. So you've got the advantage of just working from scratch and just going, actually, what is the problem? How are we trying to solve it? Rather than looking at the way that things were always done. Um, right now, it's more the guest experience or the guest side of things that you're looking at, and then later on, it'll be more back of house stuff. Is that kind of the right journey?
Correct. Correct. And I mean, there's also an autonomous valet service, and that focuses on the lighter self-driving technology. So that will the guest through the guest portal. So even in the phase one, how the guest is going to get into the guest portal, there'll be a QR code at the front desk and in the rooms. The phase four is where the autonomous valet services that they'll be able to request their car, and as long as it has the self-driving technology in it, the car will pull up right to the vestibule
Beautiful.
or wherever if
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no vestibule.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, that's awesome, and I can imagine that the technology is still catching up a little bit, but it's not far off, right? We're talking. Do you know
No,
like the
no.
rough timelines for something like that to be sort of actually practical rather than just theoretical?
Well, we've talked to obviously Lucid Motors. They're the next Tesla, and we feel that somewhere in Q1 of
Wait. That's a big call there. I don't even know who Lucid Motors are.
Lucid Motors is so. I'll give you a background story of Lucid Motors. The CEO of Lucid Motors, they just landed on the stock market. The CEO of Lucid Motors was the chief engineer of the Model S of Tesla. Um, and then 67% of Lucid Motors is backed by the Saudi Wealth Management Fund, the largest wealth management fund in the world.
Hmm.
I believe they gave them about a billion or 2 billion. They just started. They're going to be start shipping their cars. Their first one is the Lucid Air limited edition. It's about 170,000. And that car also, if you don't have power at your house, it will be able to power your house for 2 days.
Right.
It's got the highest range. That car itself also has 1,080 horsepower, and its range was the highest now for an electric vehicle. It was about 517 miles.
Wow.
Now, their cars are something to really talk about. I mean, as people will learn in the next probably 4 to 6 months who they are, uh, everybody at Lucid used to work at Tesla. And they're doing a lot of things that is revolutionizing that industry
Sure.
itself. And the cars, as we talk about these electric vehicle cars, I mean, Apple's talked about getting into the car business.
Sure.
So, the self driving model, I believe you will see a lot more of it come 2022 Q1. That's why our phase four is geared towards that date.
Sure.
It's going to be geared towards that date.
Yeah.
We want to make sure, and it's really for a full service model, right? Full service hotels really have the valet parking, right? But what we did is we made valet service for every property. Now, anybody that has a self-driving lidar technology in their vehicle, Tesla is the only one currently, but it's being tested everywhere.
Mm.
If you're in California currently, they have tests going on everywhere. So it's not only cars. We're talking about taxis. So the taxis with Canoe, that is one of the other companies, they would be rolling out the taxis. So, this will be more for everybody. It's not going to be only geared towards one segment.
Okay, great. Okay, so I think I'm going to come back to the EV Hotel Group and EV Human and all of that. I think it'll be great to talk about the artificial intelligence side of things. and as well as kind of the vision as to why we're doing this when there is technology out there already. But I want to spend the next 5-10 minutes just rewinding and understanding how you got into a position to be now looking at setting this up and making this happen and running a tech company. So you said you've been in hospitality for 25 years. Tell me
Yes.
about sort of the roles that you first started at and sort of your path to get to where you are today.
Yeah, so I started as a front desk agent back in 1996. Well, a long time ago. But I started as a front desk agent back in 1996 and then worked my way up. Obviously, when I got back from college and overseas, I started as a front office manager in Times Square. And in a few months after that, they promoted me to general manager. And then from there, I was area general manager, and then I worked myself up to VP of operations and CEO of a company back in New York City. So I've been a CEO previously. I've been a VP of operations. I've been a regional director of operations. I've built and managed, built and did PIPs on it, property improvement plans of 20 properties in the last 10 years. Built Marriott's, Hilton's. So I have the construction knowledge and the operation knowledge when it comes to hotels.
So when you say building a hotel, what does that mean? I guess there's so many
Ground
different
up.
things. Yeah, yeah. like it.
Ground up. So basically, you buy the land, then we would look at the structures with the GC. We would look at a complete built out because we have to do soft goods and we had to know what's going to be the whole design plan of the rooms itself, the corridors, rooms, the placements, the supplies, and go through with the engineers if there's anything that's going to be a hard cut where we're going to have to kind of get some big boys in there. So, I mean, it's a complete build out. I mean, it's basically you put some soil on and then you go from there.
Yeah. Okay, right. Okay, so that's incredible. So, I guess your experience there is, hey, I've worked in the hotel. You might not have had the construction experience, but like I know what the end product needs to look like. I think that would be the biggest skill that you bring to it, so that then you can make sure
Yeah.
that it's on an operational level. Once it's all built, then you're good to kind of go
Hmm.
um, and to have everything running. In those hotels, out of curiosity, were you then involved in them once they were constructed, or was like, nah, we're going to go
Oh
and
yeah,
build the
yeah,
next one?
definitely. Yeah, yeah, most definitely. I mean, that's what a lot of people look for me because it's very hard to find somebody with the construction knowledge and the operations knowledge. Because once you build that hotel up, with the brands, you have to work with their opening teams.
Hmm.
And you have to work with their opening teams because there is an onboarding process there. You have to get a general manager 6 months prior to opening, and from 6 months, that's the brand onboarding. So you have to make sure all the systems are in place, technology, whether it's the computers, whether it's the routers, what you see in rooms with the Wi-Fi access points, all of that.
Hmm.
So there's a bigger piece to not just say, oh, the hotel's done, we put the furniture in the room, and let's open it next day. It
Sure,
doesn't work
sure.
like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Cool. All right. So was that sort of the last sort of stage before the EV Hotel Group sort of started to become what it is today?
Well, EV Hotel Group has been a plan since 2018. So I moved from New York City to Georgia in 2018. My wife wanted to move due to her family being here. Our daughter at that time was about 2.5, 3 years old. And she gave me the sob story that she can't play in the cold, she can't play in the snow, she can't get outside because it's too cold. So, I kind of caved in and I said, okay. So I got with a few of my friends that work on Wall Street. And I said, look, this is the idea I got. What can we do? So we basically took a trip to South Beach for a week, um, kind of thought of our own plan. And I said I need to venture into a region because I know the New York City region in back of my head. I mean, most prominent region for hospitality in the world. And I said, I need to look outside New York City. I need to see what another region looks like. So obviously, I worked in some capacities with few people that were very large hospitality groups. And, I was thinking, okay, what's the issues here? What were the issues in New York? And then that's how I can formulate the whole plan together. And that's kind of what I did. And then COVID happened. So this plan wasn't going to go into place till 2022. But COVID happened. So I said at the end of 2020 is now when we want to roll our plan out. Um, we fast tracked it due to the fact that the industry needs change. It wouldn't have needed change based on the reports till about 2022, but because COVID fast tracked that change report, and that's why the company and everything was formulated in December of 2020 before we roll into 2021. So that's how EV Hotel Group came about. As I saw a lot of the struggles, I saw management companies not operating as they should. I saw employees not wanting to work. That's why we have the highest turnover percentage of any industry in the world. And that's through implementation and onboarding. We just properly don't do it. And there's no emphasis on onboarding. So, a lot of those things are part of EV Hotel Group and EV Human. So that's about how EV.
Okay, so you've identified a problem, COVID's happened, you've then said, hey, we need to set something up and we need to fast track this because there are a few key problems that we think we can now focus on and try to solve or that really need solving. And then, so that's where you guys are pushing to start off with. Is that about right?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
what
the
would,
startup was already there. It was a time frame.
yeah. And then, so what, in terms of when this thing launches, when we start, what does it look like in that first phase? You talked about the guest experience as the first part. Is that right? What about this the onboarding
Right.
part with the staff? Is that the second phase? Give me a bit of a rundown. So
That
if
is,
I'm running a
yeah.
hotel, what should I expect,
Yep.
and when should I be engaging with Ken, and when should I be kind of going, all right, cool, we need a bit of assistance, we need a bit of help. Yes, these are the problems that we have as
Yep.
well.
Yeah, I mean, we have a staffing solution that's a joint venture, but to the fact that phase two is all back office operations. So you're talking time and labor management. You're talking, for instance, I'll give you an example. Most of the general managers have to scan invoices to their corporate office. They're spending maybe an hour or two just scanning these invoices. With that solution, our software, they would just throw about 8, 10 invoices in there. The software would organize it and put GL codes and then send it off. It would also provide balances or anything it would know itself connecting to the vendors. We also have the contactless ordering. So now nobody has to worry about running out of anything because every 5 days the hotel would be scanning all their products that they have in their storage rooms and other areas. The system automatically will trigger how much they need. So if they have 3 shampoo boxes, when they scan it they only have two. The system will automatically send an automatic order for 1 shampoo box through the vendor, and that way they'll always have a stabilized amount. That's why we're able to guarantee, we're the only company in the world that is making a guarantee of 42% over on GOP and under 20% on labor. All of these items are part of the reason that the change in hospitality is going to happen here. It is all about rejuvenation and how we can make things better. As we say, let's make human life better. This is how we make human life better. This is where we don't have to focus on these little things. Now let's focus on our guests. Let's focus on making sure keeping our employees. And that even goes on with the phase two product itself. It's all about our owners, it's all about our employees. So the phase one product is all about our guest.
Okay, so you guys are obviously super busy, and I imagine that before
Yeah.
that May sort of launch, that you would have some beta testing kind of going on and making sure that at least
Yep.
you've got those first round of bugs and issues and implementation problems kind of figured out. So then when you go to the next stage, and then if I am running a hotel and I'm listening to this and I go, all right, cool. I want to get involved, but changing all my systems seems a bit daunting, or the change management process might not be something I've got on the cards right now. I might not have the budget, whatever the excuses are. Do you guys see your system coming in and running concurrent with what they have right now, and then kind of slowly making that shift over, or is it a hard get in there, just change, rip everything out, and start again?
No, we wouldn't want anybody to go against what they have. I mean, it's we had a group that's got about 18 hotels, and they asked the same question, and they said, and I said, you know what, you try it out. You're not forced into anything.
Hmm.
you know um, we don't have a problem if you say this doesn't work for you. Now, will I see that? Absolutely not. I mean, once somebody uses this thing, they're going to be like, this is the best thing ever, due to the fact that it's a one-stop shop, right? It's got everything everywhere. Instead of a hotel uses 8 different softwares there and 8 different logins. So, and do we see this very analytic? It's the most analytic thing you'll ever see, due to the fact that I told you about phase two, the back office operation. There is no more entering human data. We're integrating with every single PMS. So that means night audits are no more entering, auditing, none of that. It's gonna have variances. So if your F&B is off by $500, it's gonna automatically tell you you're off by $500. So it's kind of making things more streamlined to everything, and that's what people love. They love anything that is going to be digitalized, and this whole thing is digitalized. So when we show them what it can do, obviously we're in the next probably 2 to 3 weeks here, towards the end of the month or first week of April, we're going to be having a marketing video that's going to launch the first phase. So that's going to show the app and what it's actually going to do within the app itself. So, it's going to be very interesting, but we've gauged a lot of interest on this due to the fact that now employees are going to want to work in this industry. The guests are going to want to utilize this. They're going to say that I'm getting exactly now in a hotel room and at a hotel what I get at home with technology.
Cool. And so the artificial intelligence part, I just wanted to delve into that a little bit. Eh, in the first few phases, is there plans for artificial intelligence, and what does that mean to you
Oh, most
guys?
Most definitely. And when I look at AI and our entire team and developers, when they look at AI is about data. AI is just not taking a facial recognition and saying it only knows your nose. It needs to know your hair, it needs to know your ears, it needs to know your cheekbones. And that's where our focus is on AI. And that's our obviously the complete check-in model and the complete checkout model. It's all about data. It's data driven. That's why we have what we've done is we've eliminated data islands that exist in the industry. Now it's all clean data. And I'll give you an example of AI here. Is you have limited service breakfast, the free breakfast. Your hostess comes in at 6 in the morning, says, how many rooms do you have? They say, we have 15 rooms we sold last night. She says, great. Now I need to make food for 15 rooms. Not 15 people, 15 rooms. Now, how does she make food for 15 rooms? She just throws everything, full boat, fill the whole thing up, right? What we've done in one of our questions on the check-in model is, are you going to be attending breakfast and how many people? Now that's AI. That's data. That's clean data. And that's what we've done. And that's only one thing. But that's what I'm saying. That's clean data. No more leaving data on islands at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Cool. I can imagine that we're going to talk. a lot more in the future about what you guys are doing. I can imagine that this is the first
Yeah.
of a bunch of different podcasts and calls and that sort of thing over the next few years, as you guys keep on developing the product and launching it and getting it out there. At this particular moment, what's the best way that our community can be of service to you, Ken?
Yeah, so you guys can find us on LinkedIn, EV Hotel Group, and our if you want to reach us by email, it's evinfo@evhotelgroup.com. You can find me on LinkedIn as well, and our website's www.evhotelgroup.com. So there's multiple ways. We're actually revamping our website so the developers are adding a website that no one ever has seen as a hospitality company. And we just launched, so we're the first hospitality company that deals with brands, and we've launched a rental space division that focuses on Airbnb and Verbo. And then today we just signed an agreement for our staffing solution model. So we actually have a joint venture with another hospitality group that focuses on task force management, that it goes on implementation, onboarding, training, and everything on employees. So we're doing a lot of different things that the industry's never seen ever.
Beautiful.
And that's been our focal point, that EV Hotel Group is done with the archaic systems and then the archaic processes. We're changing the whole model. The whole system's broken, so we're coming in to fix it.
Yeah, beautiful. Um, Ken, that's look. I don't know what else to add really. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see your progress. I'm excited to see this product come out. I'm excited to get my hands on it so that I can play around with it and break it.
Right.
And send you emails at 2 o'clock in the morning saying, "Hey, what about this? What about that?" And I think the real ideas will really come out once it kind of gets that implementation and people start actually playing
Yeah.
with it and breaking it and finding those opportunities on
Oh
it.
yeah, and I mean, Bart, this is for our employees. This is for our guests. Um, they felt the struggle for a long time. I mean, we need to do something, and the change needs to happen now. And that's the reason I come from the inside. I come as a lifelong employee of this industry. I come from where my blood and sweat was poured into this industry, and I felt that we can't keep going on this way. Our guests are not happy. Our employees are not happy, and we need to do something to streamline this better. But we don't want to just look at EV Hotel Group as a hotel company. That's why we even created a division to be in the rental space. We want to make this where it's almost like what we do at the hotel level with this, we want to do it in the rental space division as well. We want to streamline that division. We want implementation, onboarding. We want, whether it's how the linen and terry are delivered, how the guests would feel like, okay, I feel safe staying at an Airbnb, or I feel safe staying in a hotel room. So we're doing a lot of different things that I think everybody will love, and everybody will look at us. I mean, it's crazy. People are calling me like the Elon Musk of hospitality. I'm like, that's some pretty big shoes to fill, but you know,
If anyone's gonna do it, it's gonna be you, Mr. Ken.
yeah.
Um,
Appreciate that, Bar.
No worries. So look, thank you once again for coming on. Like I said, I know that we will talk again in the near future. I'll be watching this space. I'll be watching what you're doing and what you guys are up to, and taking notes and probably poaching a few ideas here and there. I really appreciate you taking the time for coming on and for sharing your knowledge and your skills with us. Like Ken said, he's very approachable. Reach out to him if you've got any questions about this. If you are in the hotel space, reach out. If you are in the short-term rental space as well, there are products that will be coming your way in the future, and it will be within that ecosystem. So May is that first date, but maybe towards the end of the year, it doesn't really matter. But 2021, 2022, there will be a lot going on. So definitely watch the EV